morbid place.
I remember being there, and I sat next to Todd McCullough when he was drafted by the Golden State Warriors. And this is the Warriors were so bad. He's next to me. We're in the stands. He's sitting next to me, and he said the S word. Yeah, he doesn't know me. He just happens to be sitting there. And they're like, center from, I forget where he went to school, Todd McCullough, 7-foot center. And Todd McCullough he goes blank.
Hey, he NBA Finals starter.
Oh, wow. You know where it was? It was
What?
not.
Who?
It was
Todd McCullough started in the NBA Finals.
For whom? Philadelphia?
No, the Nets.
Oh, did he really?
Yeah, guess who he played up against?
Oh, wow.
Shaq.
Oh, my God. So Todd McCullough had a few years then in the NBA.
Well, no, he got traded the next year to the Nets for Dikembe Mutombo. So in 2003, Dikembe Mutombo started the final.
And this draft would have been...
No.
This draft would have been 95-ish when I...
95 first overall, I think, was Joe Smith.
Okay, so it wasn't... Joe Smith was not the first overall pick at the draft that I went to. Let's see. With Todd McCullough.
By the way, Brian Strait went to BU.
Yes, he did. I saw that.
516-572-7440. 516-572-7440. That is the number to call on your two-way sports talk connection. We'd love to hear what's on your mind. There's so much we're...
99.
99, yep.
That was 99? The NBA draft McCullough was picked?
Yes.
Who was number one?
I thought it wasn't it McCullers?
So I was married when I went to that draft. All right. Yes, I was. Now that I think about it, I guess I was. Caller, you're on Sports Talk.
Elton Brand.
Elton Brand.
Wow.
Former Knick, wasn't he? No, he was a Denver Nugget for a while. He was... where else did Elton Brand play?
Philadelphia 76ers.
Philadelphia
He made
76ers.
a ton of money. He made a ton of money. I believe that he's the guy who Prince rented his house in California and destroyed. I believe it was Elton Brand. I have to look at what Duke player that was, but I think...
New Yorker.
I think it was Elton. Oh, Elton Pigstill. He's from George Patacular.
Born in Cortland Manor.
Call you on Sports. You're on Sports Talk.
Moral outrage.
Oh, boy, here we go.
And what now?
I'm only kidding. It's amazing. And the funny thing about the NFL, they don't want to tell you how horrible a product they're putting out there. So everything is steroids and this and that, and you can beat the hell out of your girlfriend. We're going to give you 4 games. We might even give you 8, but everything else is... it's absolutely incredible that the original meaning of what was supposed to happen turned into what it did turn out. And it's amazing. They want to mold the police force. Now, if you're a policeman, I got my brother's a policeman. Is it protect and serve or get home alive? It's get home alive to your family. Yeah. Okay.
And we lost Dave there.
Did we lose him?
Are we talking about the Milwaukee thing?
No, I'm just talking about in general. I mean, it's up to a policeman to get home to his family.
Well, I understand that. I mean, as far as it relates to sports, though, I mean, are
we're talking about the national anthem?
Yeah. Is this?
No, the original intent with Kaepernick was the fact that the inner city youths. Excuse me.
Utes.
What is a Ute?
Yeah, no, the late Fred Gwynn.
Fred Gwynn.
Yeah, that's right.
Are you trying to say youth?
These guys follow procedure. They just want to get home to their family. They're not RoboCops.
To me, it's just the whole jingoistic where we try to USA, America. Just
America.
We don't need the national anthem.
Thank you
at a sporting event.
Jeez.
We don't. And I say that being cognizant and alive when post 9/11 we added the 7th inning stretch of God Bless America, where it's just fake hustle, fake patriotism, jingoistic, we're number one, blah, blah, blah kind of stuff. It's like, we don't need it. Same way that Under God was added to the Pledge of Allegiance in the 50s. It's like just stuff, it's not... We don't need it. It's to have. So, and they go and make this stupid kind of. To me, it's a cop out. All right, you get to decide if you're going to stay in.
This is great.
Or you can come out. But if you come out and someone kneels, we're going to have a penalty.
Yeah.
And why does the
cop out?
Why does the NFL talk about this now? Right. It's because they want talking about NFL all year round. The NFL draft just ended, so what's the next thing?
Well, so they're hiding behind Memorial Day. They're hiding behind the fact that what just happened
the news
today.
Cycle week is a slow week. The same way that we just had a shooting in Texas, which should bother people more so than the Florida one, because it was a kid with small arms and from the parents, and he stayed alive, and he was a seemingly normal kid, but it was a Friday in May, and it was the royal wedding, and all the stations that if they'd stayed with the school shooting and gone away from the royal wedding, the ratings would have plummeted. And you got to see that. It was journalism 101 last week, where they stayed with the stupid royal wedding rather than cover what happened. So the shelf life of the story in Santa Fe, Texas, it's
insane.
Over. It's over.
It's insane.
It's over.
And everyone's like, "Oh, this isn't the right time." Sorry.
It's over.
I don't know.
This isn't the right time to talk about this issue. And again, we're a sports show. We're not a political show. But at the same time, like, we keep burying issues. We keep burying issues. This is a big one. This is a huge one. And every time one of these things happens, it's that this isn't the right time. It's the time to mourn. Right. And then they bury the issue and they don't talk about it till later. And that's exactly what the NFL has been doing with their issue. They've been burying
the first kid who was... Speaking of buried, literally, the first kid who was buried the other day, do you see where she was from?
I did not.
She was from Pakistan, and she was brought here for a better life, a safer life.
Oh, yeah. Definitely, because the women there are treated like doo-doo.
So her safer life killed her. You know, I mean, that to me, if it was any more obvious, Andrew Lloyd Webber would compose music for it.
You know what was great? A young girl was interviewed outside the school that day, and they said, "Could you have ever pictured this happening at your school?" And the girl goes, "Yeah, I could. In the country we're living in right now, I absolutely could."
It's crazy. It's bizarre.
I mean, jeez.
It's just...
I'm not making light of it, but as a young person, if you're on your toes, and again, I'm not talking about pushing somebody out of the way, but yes, I think you should be aware of what's going on around.
Right. Well,
absolutely.
Richie from Shirley called me. Richie from Shirley is an ex corrections guy, and he tells his kids, run away, go the other way. Everyone's going one way, go the other way. This way, you're not with the pack, because the pack gets shot. It's little things you have to teach. We did, just buildings in Manhattan, they have these drills. It's called ABC. The number one thing when there's an active shooter drill is ABC. A is avoidance. All right, try to stay away from the shooter. B is barricade. Do whatever you can to barricade the door. C is confrontation, because that's your last resort, and at least you make the active move to do something about it. So that's the kind of weird stuff you got to teach in this day and age.
It's insane.
Or we have concealed carry laws in the state.
In New York?
For God's
not really.
I know, or we should enact
not for kids under 18.
Not for kids.
No, you need to have a single entrance. Not all these doors open in high school. Have a single choke point. Have a single bottle. That kind of stuff. That's
the problem. They're in gun-free zones. Oh, God. How many of these things happen in gun-free zones?
Texas,
Colorado.
No, in a school.
Right. Well, that's the thing. And they're taken from when the father always had a gun in the house. It's always did. Always had a gun in the house. Right. It's like, well, if it's in the house, it's in the house. You're gonna get it. Well, it's funny because my father carried a gun for a living. My mother would not let us have toy guns. I never had a toy gun my entire life. And the very day he retired, my mother made him get rid of the gun. It had to leave the house. Had to be gone. So he got rid of it the day he retired.
But what I don't get is, why does this country focus on a foreign country's international wedding where the country gives money to a family to just live off their
the world's largest welfare family?
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Legitimately.
Is that so un-American? It's not even funny.
It's insanity.
The same reason you go to a football game is to put your brain on hold.
Right.
Now,
and that's
correct. Listen, correct. Guys, you work all week long. Okay, let's assume you're a Monday to Friday lunchbox Joe, and then all of a sudden Saturday you cut the lawn, you get everything out of the way. Sunday you want to be able to sit down and not start the afternoon off with who's sitting, who's standing, who's giving the finger. It's the most. I mean, guys, when I was young, and Chris will back me up on this. You know what we were doing this? Well, not this time, and a little bit because you would get yelled at if you're out when it was dark. We were talking baseball.
Yeah.
We were talking. I was a minority as a Yankee fan. It was me and one other guy, Danny Connor. Everybody else was Met fans. But you learned how to debate. You learned how to
think about the great debate they had when there were three teams, where you had the center fielders, Willie, Mickey, and the Duke. They would debate who is the best center fielder in New York. That was a nice problem to have.
Triple crown.
Even
if it wasn't a horse.
Yeah. So, Dave, what do you think of... Is it just is this the most underwhelming Triple Crown pursuit you've ever seen or heard?
When you think about history, in 10 years, people could pardon my pun, they could justify it in the sense that by saying, it was a wonderful training job, and again, the horse is underwhelming in the sense that he really hasn't run a lot. But maybe it's a coincidence with starting pitching in the American League, or I should say, in baseball. They don't have to do that much anymore.
There's some, and they always liken pitchers to thoroughbreds now, saying you got to treat them right and don't nurture them. But what is that score? There's a score or something, a time or something in horse racing, like 100's a good score or something.
Where the Beyer figure.
The Beyer figure.
Yeah, Andrew Beyer.
He was the only, it was the only horse doing 100 on that. He was the only one. So all these other ones are just, they're pretenders. He's the only game in town.
I don't know about that. I really don't. Excuse me. I'm so sorry.
It's sort of like the National League East with the Nats. Only kidding, guys.
I really liked Good Magic coming in. I thought he had a real good shot to get to.
Well, neither race has been in good weather either. It's been horrible.
And that's
tracks,
the other
right?
thing that gets me about this horse is not only did he have to run in that kind of condition the first time, all that slop, he got hurt and then came back into the Preakness and ran a wonderful race. I mean, really, really muscled it out because there was a shot. I don't remember the horse that was next to him. It wasn't Good Magic. It was another one that finished second, who was neck and neck finish there. Brazier?
Bravazzo.
It was Bravanzo. I thought he really gutted it out, and I'm excited to see this horse for a third and probably final race.
One of the most, and Chris has heard me say this before, horses are they are on the scale of brightness, really not bright. And one of the things that, and again, the trainer of Good Magic, Chad Brown, did not want Jose Ortiz to go head-to-head with him. But the thing about a champion is if you're always on the lead, you never have to look back. And again, on a muddy day, you're kicking mud back into the other guys. And they're young and inexperienced, and a lot of people in life don't want to get mud kicked into them. But the whole point with that Ortiz was he wanted to put his horse eyeball to eyeball to see what Justify would do. Some horses back down. And again, like I said, you're not dealing with the brightest of animals. You put that thing of carnations on their back, they start eating them. They don't know what it's there for. And again, it backfired, but it did. Again, the trainer was beside himself because he did not want him to do that. But a jockey's a jockey, so they're going to do what they want.
Now, are you going to go to the Belmont Stakes?
You couldn't find me there. I will be sitting in. I have off that Saturday. I will attend to the yard, and then I will have my.
Doesn't you mean the paddock?
I hadn't had a landscaper in 5-6 years, and then I got an estimate this week.
Yep.
I forgot how expensive those guys are. Oh my God, it's a lot of money.
Yeah,
a lot of money.
Yeah, and again, as a longtime Giant fan, if anybody on their handheld device, please look at the first 7 games of the Giants. And please tell me which of those 7 they're going to win.
Oh, believe me, we've looked at it. It's a brutal, brutal schedule. Yeah. It really is.
Little faith. These Giants are going to be good.
Stop. These Giants are going to be good. They're not. Listen, do yourself a favor. Take it from me. Hope for a 7-9 season and be pleased with anything else you get.
No, I think the Giants are going to be what I thought they were going to be at the start of last year, and they didn't become.
And what happened there? We were all talking Super Bowl.
Well, we didn't realize the incompetence of the coach.
Yep.
And we also, but didn't we not already know what what Flowers was? We knew what he was coming in.
Well, that's Jerry Reese, though. That's he didn't do anything to supplement that.
He didn't really have that bad of a last 3 quarters of the season.
Because they played him at guard.
We also found the craziness that was going on with that one. Was it Eli Apple? There were some crazy battles in the locker room that were going on with Landon Collins and other guys.
Well, part of it for good reason because they sat a Hall of Fame quarterback for no reason.
Yeah,
a Hall of Fame.
That was the thing. It was
a Hall of Fame by modern standards.
A quarterback, head coach had lost total control of that team. Mm-hmm. And he was in over his head. He didn't belong as a head football coach in the NFL. He just didn't. And we won't see it happen again. That guy, McAdoo, will not be a head football coach. He's Ray Hanley. He will never be a head football coach.
No, definitely not.
Ever again. He failed at the highest level.
Welcome to Northern Illinois.
But that's the thing. Ray Hanley never coached again. So McAdoo at least will try to get a college job somewhere. He's from Pennsylvania. Maybe get
let's not forget one thing about Kaepernick also. We made $47 million.
Right. No, it's like $70 million.
He gave $1 million back. back. So
yeah, he made $70 million. Eric Reed has the lawsuit that is a bit. We'll have to see what happens there. But Kaepernick was a thing where he wanted starter money. He wanted to come in and get $10+ million and be a starter. Starting jobs are hard to come by in the NFL, so that wasn't going to happen, and no team is going to give a backup quarterback $10+ million. It's not going to happen.
Not salary cap.
So not in this era exactly. Now let me just we're at the top of the hour, so let me do that. Hang on, Dave from Franklin.